Jeff Duncan, Josh Katzenstein here at the Superdome, where the Saints have opened the season with a very disappointing 48-40 loss, a wild one today here in the Superdome, Josh. And we just got back from the locker room. Saints obviously disappointed. Saints fans everywhere disappointed with this effort. And I got to tell you, I didn't see this coming. I thought if they lost, they'd lose a defensive slugfest, something maybe in the 20s. I didn't see this kind of offensive eruption from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Ryan FitzMagic today. Saints defense has to be disappointed.
Absolutely. It felt just like the start of last season when they went up to Minnesota and the defense just looked totally lost. I mean, there was no pass rush tonight. There was many coverage lapses. I mean, this might have been Marshawn Lattimore's worst game. I don't think he gave up a touchdown last year, and he gave up a 50-yard bomb to Mike Evans. He gave up another deep one along the sideline. Deshaun Jackson torched the Saints a few times, and Ken Crawley in particular. And we didn't even mention Ryan FitzMagic, probably the best game of his career. He had 417 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, ran for a touchdown, ran for 12 yards to convert a 3rd and 11 with about 2.5 minutes left that sealed the game for the Bucs. And it just looked like the Saints were totally unprepared. I mean, you put the blame on the coaches, you put it on the players, and they just have to do a lot before next Sunday.
Yeah, Saints had no answer for Ryan FitzMagic. That's a career high. He's played 14 years, so that's a pretty long career. Never had a game like this. And the Saints secondary just was torched all day long in single coverage. You mentioned Lattimore, Crawley, a lot of busts, but I think it all starts up front. The pass rush, 0 sacks and almost 40 passing attempts and only 2 quarterback hits. And a couple times that they did get there, they were called for roughing the passer. So just all around a dismal day. I thought Drew Brees and the offense did their part. We didn't mention Mike Thomas had a monster game today.
Yeah, Mike Thomas, 16 catches, 180 yards. The 16 catches is a new single-game franchise record. But even talking to him after the game, I mean, he said he's like, it doesn't really matter when we lose. But obviously, I think part of the issue with the offense that we saw today is that they have to rely so heavily on Mike Thomas and Alvin Kamara. They need someone else to step up. I mean, obviously, you score 40 points. It's hard to make many gripes with the offense, but Mike Thomas lost a fumble, so it wasn't a perfect day. Mike Gillislee lost a fumble, and when you realize they only lost by 8 points, I mean, those are 2 possessions that if they go a different way, we might be talking about a different outcome.
So this one hurts. It's a division game. You lose it at home. It's almost like losing 2 games, it feels like. But I think this team, because we've seen it in the past, overcome slow starts like they did a year ago. This is a veteran team with great leadership. They're not going to panic, and no one should panic. You got 15 games left. But there's no getting around. This one is a tough one to stomach because it came in the division.
Yeah, 5 straight Week 1 losses for the Saints. I mean, they could rattle off, 15 straight wins and end up 15-1, but at some point they're going to have to figure out how to, end this slow start.
All right, well, that's it from the Superdome. Saints lose 48-40. Disappointing opener for the New Orleans Saints here. But check out all of our coverage at NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. And we will have coverage for the rest of the week, getting up for Week 2, Cleveland Browns, Week 2 here at the Superdome. Thanks for joining us.